Mrs. Uchechi Okukano has declared war. She has set fire. And that war is beginning to rage. The fire is beginning to burn. Please, those that can talk to her should, as a matter of urgency and peace, talk to her. I'm going to play her broadcast to you, but you need to understand that when this new wave of crisis begin to hit the homeland, which is the Biafra land or the Igbo land, you will be affected in one way or another. Your village may be affected. Your community may be affected. Even those in the diaspora. Fight and war is going on right now. You can see what is going on. The memo flying up and down and people issuing out threats. These are not just empty threats. They are capable of carrying it out. When people are incited and their emotions are manipulated for the wrong use to achieve a very negative intent, they can actually carry out their threat. I'm not here to incite you. We have been praying for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and we have been praying for Biafra. But then, when certain things begin to happen, we need to speak and bring about enlightenment to our people, that they may understand what is really going on, what is at stake, and what to do. The former DOS and Mrs. Uchechi Okukano, they are working hand in hand, not behind the scene, openly. I'm going to play her broadcast to you, and I know you have not heard this very part in her broadcast. Listen to me very carefully. Share this video everywhere. I'm going to play her voice, her broadcast, and then we look into the things that she said and compare them with what is actually the authentic or the legitimate position of IPOB that the people of Biafra and the Igbos should pay attention to. Now listen.
Let me tell you something. You know, when Nnamdi Kanu was released in 2017, Nnamdi Kanu's release it had a great impact on the movement. It resonated all over the world. That was when the name of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB started to resonate around the world on tables of international news houses and governments. Okay? Now, how did that happen? That happened through legal battle as well as political legal input and political input from our brothers, from our political elites. Now, the people that actually propagated, that laid the channel for the legal input to happen, were blackmailed. How did the blackmail start? By false narrative and propaganda. Blackmail. Oh, that they want to take over from Onyeng Nnamdi Kanu. The same nonsense going on today. Because you're not disciplined, because you behave like a mad dog. You go about raising dust. How about you sit and work with these people? Where can I do this? How can I get this? How can we do this? Is there something you need me to do? Where do you want me to go? No. Rather, you sit aside and manipulate, concoct, blackmail, and start to throw on people who are working, people who truly love Nnamdi Kanu, people who really care about him. And then what happened? They were all blackmailed and sent out. How I was treated is in my book. How can you suffer for fighting the right fight? Every single person that were in the path of destroying Nnamdi Kanu became Nnamdi Kanu's allies. Became those who walk in front with him. While those who fought for his freedom were blackmailed.
She implies that the second DOS was blackmailed and sent out. That is the second DOS. Number two is that she talked about how she was treated, and she has written it in her book. Number three, she just said now that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's enemies, after he was released from Kuje prison, that he now made them his best friends or allies. They now became his best allies. And all the people that fought for his release were blackmailed. I was among the people that fought for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. From the month of October he was arrested, I declared fasting and prayer every week. And that fasting and prayer lasted for 18 months. It was not only the legal input or the political elites, as she said in her broadcast, that brought about the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It was a collective effort. No single group should take the glory or the credit. Many people fought in different ways. People that their names were not even mentioned or heard. I was not blackmailed. Because she said that the people that worked for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they were all blackmailed. I, Maxwell Nnawuihe, I fought for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for 18 good months in fasting and prayers every Saturday. I was not blackmailed. The tape is going to continue.
But I have always stood in the middle. I said that in my last broadcast. I stand as a bridge. That is my job. It is not easy, but it has to be done because that's my purpose. I have a job to do, and that is to stand between Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the DOS. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader, remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. And the DOS led by Mazi Chikedozie remains the leadership that spearheads this struggle until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released.
Now, listen, the tape is going to continue. She said that she stands a bridge. What kind of bridge are you? What type of bridge are you? You know, I have refrained myself from talking about the marital issues of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the wife up until the month of July. Many of you that have been following this channel, Maxwell Nnawuihe, you can attest to the fact that I've not taken time to look into all the allegations and all, even when she started granting interview. The most outrageous interview was with the woman that is called Lolo Nneka Chimezie. I refused to comment on that until this month of July. I began to look into this because I saw the pattern. I saw that this is confusion. I saw that this is fire that is being set. I saw that this woman, sorry to use the word, this woman, the wife of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Uchechi, has actually declared war. And this new phase of war doesn't mean well for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and it doesn't mean well for Igbo land. It doesn't mean well for IPOB global family. Remember that a husband is fighting to overturn his life sentence, and appeal court case is coming up anytime soon. All of these are instruments in the hands of the wicked to destroy the perspective, to make sure that the chances and the opportunity of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gathering global support, leading for his victory at appeal court, is frustrated and thwarted. This woman has inadvertently or consciously or indirectly made herself a tool in the hand of the wicked to make sure that the release of Nnamdi Kanu becomes impossible or harder and more difficult. She's a bridge between the DOS and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What kind of bridge is that? What kind of bridge? A bridge through which evil influences or elements step into the position or the office of your husband to cause trouble, to hijack the office of your husband, to cause trouble, to cause mayhem. Just like God spoke to me on 21st of May 2026, the spider and cobweb hijack of the office of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That prophecy is on this channel. Many of you that watched it can confirm and attest to the fact that the prophecy is authentic and it came to full manifestation. 21st of May 2026, and now the dissolution of the third DOS on the 17th of June 2026, and the DOS that was dissolved turning around to suspend Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. the office of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra and the director of Radio Biafra on the 18th of June 2026, which is the spider hijack that the Lord opened my eyes to see on the 21st of May 2026. And in that very revelation, that very prophecy, the wife of Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu was right inside that office, as I saw in the realm of the spirit. She's taken side with the spiders, the cobwebs that was supposed to be removed from the office to ensure that the office of the husband is protected and defended until he's coming out from Sokoto prison. She failed in her duty. She stands as a bridge. And she is insisting, as you can hear from her voice, that Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. That we know already. We don't need anybody to remind us. But the war that she has declared is that the DOS that has been dissolved and sacked and some of the members expelled, that they remain the legitimate DOS of the indigenous people of Biafra. That is war. The husband said no, they are dissolved, they are suspended, some of them expelled. She said no, they remain the authentic, legitimate DOS. What does that mean? She's beating the drum of war. She has declared war. And these people that have been removed by the IPOB Code of Conduct, Section 2, subsection A, Clause 1, which we dealt with in our previous broadcast. These people are going to move with greatest audacity, without any caution, having the backing of the wife of Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu. What do you think would be the impact at the diplomatic or international level in the case of Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu and Biafra independence? It is war. The faction of Uchechu Kanu DOS and the legitimate or recognized inaugurated fourth administration, fourth DOS by Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu. This is war. She has set fire, and this fire is burning. As I said from the beginning of this broadcast, let me take you back to the broadcast of Uchechi. Now listen, like and share this video everywhere, please. Like and share it everywhere.
All this blackmail going and running around, telling Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu, oh, this, that, then you twist your narrative and come out. It will not stand, not this time.
Did you hear what she said? It is war. She has openly declared war against the husband. In other words, whatever discussion you are having with Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu, my husband or my ex-husband, will not stand. It is war. So, is she now higher or stronger or more experienced in leadership than the husband, Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu? Is she, what position does she occupy in IPOB to give outstanding instructions or order or command? She has declared war against the husband. She has declared war against the Biafran people. She has declared war against Igbo land, because this is going to have ripple effect. There are people that have heard, and there are people that will still hear what she has said, and they will run with it. They will act on it, having the backings of the former DOS. They have so much resources for them at their disposal. And then you're going to see another wave of insecurity and bloodbath in our land. But God forbid it. Those that she can listen to, as a matter of urgency, begin to talk to her right now, to go back to the same Radio Biafra, to go back to the same IPOB platforms where she has been making all these broadcasts, to make clear statements that she stands by the authority of the husband and the instructions of the husband as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, if actually she mean it and believe it, that her husband remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Let the tape continue.
Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu is being viewed through the international lens. They want to see, are these people serious? How do they hold space for another? How do they use their laws? How do they implement their policies? How does their principle change by who it affects?
Does their principle change by who it affects? The IPOB Code of Conduct, Section 2, subsection B, subsection A, Clause 1, which I dealt with in the previous broadcast, vested in Maxwell Nnawuihe Kanu the absolute authority to suspend, to dismiss, or to appoint principal officers into office or remove them out of office We dealt with that. I don't want to digress because of time. Please, after now, make sure you go to that very broadcast and watch it. If you look in the description below this video, you're going to see it. She is taking side with the DOS. Now, she said, what kind of country are we trying to build? Is it a country that when you are affected by the policy changes? When you are affected by the law is not favorable to you. Now, you want the law to be changed. What is the law in context? The law and the policy is the IPOB Command and Control Policy, which is captured in the IPOB Code of Conduct, Section 2A, Clause 1. Now, it has affected the third DOS, and they didn't like it. They were dissolved, they were removed, they were dismissed. Nnamdi Kanu acted according to the power vested in him, the authority that is exclusively for him to use as the leader, supreme leader of IPOB, to dismiss them. Go and read it, you're going to see it. Go and watch the video, you're going to see it. Now it affected the third DOS, and they didn't like it. And now they said, no, you cannot suspend us. You cannot dissolve the DOS. These same people that she's defending said, no, the policy, the law has not acted in our favor this time around. We are going to fight against it. And she's supporting them. And here she is making a broadcast telling the whole world that she is supporting obedience and compliance with the rule of law. Whereas she is not. Because if she is, and she knows the content of the IPOB Code of Conduct, what it says in the sections I've mentioned, she would have allowed peace to reign and supported the husband. Even if she doesn't want to come out and make it open, she shouldn't either come out to make it open that she's against the step that the husband has taken or the authority the husband has exerted or acted upon in the dissolution and the removal of the third DOS members, declaring war against the husband and setting everywhere on fire. Now, the tape is going to continue.
When I do something wrong and then the law changes, then we do not want that country. I stand as a bridge between that which is sin and which is unseen. You all better wake up to that reality. All this messing around and making noise like people who escaped from a psychiatric home has to stop. This disgrace has to stop. This madness has to stop. Our people are dying. Our people are being killed. There are children who can't eat. Lives must be protected. And every single one must give an account of what they did. Nnamdi Kanu will be released. Nnamdi Kanu will bring every single one together. This is what I have said from day one. This is what I have said. Everyone calm down. Sit under the leadership of the DOS until Nnamdi Kanu is released. How hard is that? How difficult is that? Let us all work as one. Nnamdi Kanu ought to have been released by now. He ought to have been released by now. But for your selfishness, for your wickedness, for your greed, and for your unconsciousness, you have stood and created nothing but chaos. Affecting Nnamdi Kanu, affecting everyone else, affecting me and his child.
By now, you know who is part of that very chaos that is being created. By now, you should understand who is actually fanning the embers of war and also declaring war and also setting up fire that is going to consume. I withdraw that word. Let it not consume. Let it not bring about destruction. Let it be put out. Let it be put off. She is causing confusion. If you are drawn by emotion or manipulated emotionally, if you are carried away by her soft talks or her soft voice, you will not know that she's part of the confusion. She is one of the architects of chaos and confusion in the leadership crisis of IPOB. You can hear from her emphasis and boldness and audacity, openly against and challenging the husband's position as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra in defense of those who don't have the absolute right, based on the IPOB Code of Conduct, to insist on staying in an office, even when their tenure of 6 months has expired, since September 2017. Listen.
So you all better sit up and protect IPOB like it's your life. Protect Nnamdi Kanu, because we are a people who are targeted. Sit up. There is no how the DOS will take over from Nnamdi Kanu. Not in this life. Let us all work together. When Nnamdi Kanu comes out, then every single person will lay their grievances. I have mine, but I have stayed my tongue and hands.
Spider Hijack, 21st of May, 17th of June, DOS dissolved. 18th of June, DOS suspended the office of Nnamdi Kanu. The prophecy talked about the office of Nnamdi Kanu, Spider Hijack. And Uche Kanu was inside that office when the Lord showed it to me. Now, type in the chat section if the prophecy has manifested accurately or not. Has the prophecy manifested accurately or not? Has the prophecy fulfilled or not? Are you taking sides with Mrs. Uche Kanu or with Nnamdi Kanu over the leadership of IPOB? Just say your mind. Add your thought in the chat section. As she has said, nobody is going to take over the office of Nnamdi Kanu. Remember that the same attempt was made in the month of January, if I'm not mistaken, 27th of January, 2022, when Nnamdi Kanu was removed from the website of Radio Biafra as the director of Radio Biafra, or the IPOB website, and he was also removed as the leader of IPOB. We were observing our 3 months fasting and prayers. In the course of that prayer, and Nnamdi Kanu was to appear in court, in the court of Justice Binta Nyako. But in the course of prayers, as soon as he was removed, in less than 3 or 4 days, he was reinstated. He was put back. You remember how somebody forged his signature, Sophia Carlo, according to the report, made herself the secretary, now removed Nnamdi Kanu from the position of the leader and also position of the director of Radio Biafra. All of you, most of you have forgotten all of this. And the same has played out in 2026. But before it happened in 2026, I gave prophecy in the month of May, and it happened in the month of June. Who should you be listening to? Those that know Uchechi should call her to order. She said that she has refrained herself and stayed her tongue, that she has refused to talk, to air her grievances, but it's a lie. She has been granted interview. You know that one of the interviews she granted to the woman, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video, caused a lot of uproar, caused a lot of damages to the name and the reputation of Nnamdi Kanu. Why not wait for your husband to come out? And now she's telling the whole world that she has stayed her tongue. She has refrained herself from talking. But this is a live broadcast, insisting that the DOS remains in office and legitimate until the husband comes out. Whereas the husband has sacked the DOS.
How? Make it make sense. What do you think Iweweze is? Oh, that no. It shows that it shows the stupidity of a certain people. That's what it shows. It shows that you cannot comport yourself under a certain law. That's what it means. But that is not who we are.
Did you hear what she said? How contradicting this, I don't want to use the word this. Please forgive me. How contradicting she has been. Always, let me not use the word always. Most of the time in this broadcast, she contradicted herself. That Iweweze, which means Igbos doesn't have king, that is not who we are. It simply means that certain people lack the discipline to comport themselves under certain law, under certain laws. Now, there is a law in IPOB that is called the Code of Conduct. I keep referring to that. did the former DOS comport themselves under the law, which is the IPOB Code of Conduct, when Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu pronounced their suspension or not? Did they? Why didn't they? They were not the first to be in that office. The first, the second, they were the third to be in that office. Now there is the fourth. Why did they refuse to step down? Why did they refuse to comport themselves under this law? And you, Uchechi Okukano, you are standing with them, and you are at the same time contradicting yourself and shooting yourself in the foot. This is quite unbelievable. This is ridiculous. I never expected this from you. Now, we're going to summarize.
We are people who question evil behavior. That is who we are. It does not mean that in Ghana here Wednesday. Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu is one person who has brought our people together this far. So let's stick to it. Let's sit down here, support this DOS until Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Whatever that wants to happen, then let it begin happening from there. But right now, no such thing is happening. Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu remains the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, and the DOS, led by Mazi Chikenism, sits on there.
She was emphatic, that was her conclusion, that the DOS, led by Mazi Chikenism, remains in office until the husband comes out, in contradiction to the decision of the husband, in contradiction or in contempt of the IPOB Code of Conduct. Type in the chat section, what word do you have for Mrs. Uchechi Okukano? What word do you have for the former DOS? What word do you have for Maxwell Nnamdi Kanu? And what word do you have for Biafrans, Igbos, and the lovers of freedom? Type in the chat section. Type it in the chat section right now. I'm looking at the chat to see what you are writing. The word you have for these categories of people I've mentioned. Type in the chat section. Type. Those that can actually talk to Uchechi and she listens should please talk to her and tell her to retract her statements and her incitements. This will not have a good outcome if she continues on this path. It's not. It's not going to favor her. Whatever interest she feels that she's protecting is not going to really favor her. There are methods and mediums of resolution of conflicts or crisis in leadership or in an organization. Not open confrontation or brazen outright retaliation. That is not the way to go. I'm God's major prophet, Maxwell Nnawuihe. Please, you have to like this video, share it everywhere, subscribe to this channel immediately.
Subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow Maxwell Nnawuihe for more updates. Follow us on YouTube, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram for more updates.